Thank you for the presentation, especially the point you made about the European integration. This was a wonderful, wonderful, let's say, addition to what we have heard so far. Thank you also to the organizers, Dina. I think this was a panel I liked very much because we had two academics and one politician. So we had it from the theoretical part and we also had it from the practical side. This was really amazing to see this, how this matches together. This is amazing. But I've learned one more thing today, not only from your speeches. I hate these lights. But what I learned is it might be very helpful to leave the panel and come back after 30 minutes because all the speakers are aware that they should finish their speech. So I keep it in mind next time. Might be good idea to repeat it next time. So the floor is to you now. If you have any questions, raise your hands and maybe give a vocal sign because I really don't see you due to the lights. So there's one. Let me see. It's a man. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Nobody knows.
So, many of them are academians and artists, and they are founding periodicals, and it seems that there is going to be some kind of cultural center there, a Jewish cultural center. So I wonder, do you think this population can constitute some kind of continuity with the legacy of German?
You see, this people, mostly young men and women, which are coming to Berlin, we're talking about between 15 and 30,000 are permanently living, Israelis are living in Berlin. Nobody knows exact numbers. They have nothing to do with the Jewish communities. And I don't think that's a group which is, they will not play a specific role in the future, I think. Most of them, many of them have a German passport now because it's a possibility to get a German passport if the parents are coming former times from Germany, and it's an entrance to the European situation. That's the main point. And Berlin, it's an interesting town. That's it.
Yeah. So, is there one question here?
Yeah. I just want two brief short remarks, questions for Gila. First of all, don't you think, I mean, one thing that I felt lacking, if you talk about the Turkish development of the Turkish community, and particularly in the second part of your talk about relationship between majority culture and Turks, really the way this is framed in German society today is not against Turks.
90s. This was from the 90s.
That surprises me, but anyway, like the mainstream discourse, I mean, at least something like would be interesting how you relate to that would be my question, because really the way, at least it's construed in the also in the critical, the anti-racist groups, activists, usually it's seen that sure, Turks are the strongest among the minorities, but really the racism or the tension is stronger if you're black or if you're Greek, for that matter, if you're part of a certain set of visible minorities, you're exposed to anti-immigrant resentments or hatred. I don't think that is, at least the way it is framed, both again from these agents on the radical right or in terms of mainstream resentments, or in that critical reflection. It's usually as anti-immigrant or racist in terms of anti-immigrant or racist resentment. So I would wonder like how you would see that. Maybe it's a different perspective that you're taking, but at least that relationship is certainly shaped by that larger, broader context. That's at least my impression. That I was even like thinking like, Turkey House, wow, I haven't seen that in a long time. What we know is Ausländer House and things like that. But Turkey House, sure, the editors who refer to Turkey explicitly, but that's kind of rather the exception to rule, at least from what I know. The second thing is, my second question would be, how do you judge the significance of
What?
how do you judge the significance of the changes that did take place since Red being government? Because usually what we say about one big success of the Red being government from 1998 to 2005, and you mentioned that, is immigration reform. I mean, that's the one signature item, right, that stands after the Cold era. Say we are no country of immigration to a country of immigration, at least in self-understanding. One example I would give to say like there is actually a quite tremendous cultural significance is the German national team. The German national team until 1998 soccer, very good for Germans. Sorry. The German national team was a completely ethnically homogenous team until 1998. No immigrants, all ethnic Germans. In fact, the culture of the Football Association and the soccer that this is a matter of identity. You have to be real German in order to play for the national team. Now this is completely changed. They play much nicer today, much more different style of soccer, but the self-image, the self-representation of German society cannot be underestimated as far as it represents the society, represents itself with the national soccer team, at least in the European context. It's tremendously important. And it's widely accepted that we're proud of Özil and Kedira and all these players. Again, it's a huge cultural change.
So, but unfortunately, you obviously are a fan of AS Roma, but I give the floor to you.
Okay, so I'll try to respond to your question very shortly. So first, after 9/11, as I said, Turks became now Muslims. Okay. Yeah, it's connected. So as I said, Turks after 9/11 became Muslims. And I think that Muslims are the most, and I showed it according to the demoscopy, they are the most unliked group. And if you take, for example, the campaign that was in I think they call them Pro NRW, with this traffic light, with a mask, with a red line. So here it's very evident that Islam, which in Germany means mostly Turk. Yeah, but the Turks are the second after them. And so I think that it's a mixture of ressentiment, and it's very central. If you took the Sarrazin, Deutschland schafft sich ab, or even the more likely book of Heinz Buschkowski, the mayor of Neukölln, then you see some anti-Muslim ressentiment, which became salonfähig. And I regard it as symptomatic to a certain change of minds, but it became very respectable to talk in this manner. Bushkovsky, as Sarrazin, they are member of the SPD. And if you remember, the attempt to kick Sarrazin out of the SPD was not so successful. He remained there. So I don't regard it as something that you just can ignore or say it's not so central. It's highly central, but in a very sophisticated way. Then regarding what happened with the Deutsche Mannschaft. So I would like to cite Cobra Yücel. Cobra Yücel is not so known as Mesut Özil, as she's a German woman with Turkish origin, and she wear the kopftuch. So she said, and she had the German citizenship, and she said that although Mesut Özil and his fellow members with migration background, they can't speak even a single right German phrase. However, they considered as true German, whereas she, as a very clear Muslim woman, would never be considered as part of as a German and as a part of the German society. She would be always, she would be regarded as a foreigner. And I think this tells us much about the situation and this very special status of Mesut Özil, which is not corresponding to the average German citizen with Turkish migration background.
Let me make at that point just one remark. I myself, I'm also a party member. And I didn't like the book of Sarrazin. I'm fortunate enough that he was not a member of my party. But it's not easy to get rid of party members in Germany, no matter if you like them or you don't like them. It's very complicated. At the end, it's the courts who decide if he's thrown out of a party or not. It's not a political decision, because free speech is very important. Even inner-party democracy is very important in Germany. So there was no chance, and this is the reason. I'm not protecting the SPD. I'm not an SPD member.
No.
But this is the legal situation in Germany. They simply can't get rid of them because there's no way to throw him out. So, please.
Thank you very much for this interesting talk. I'm very happy that the situation seems to have changed from the 1980s. In the 1980s, the situation of... Well, this is not completely off.
Would you like to share us our?
You can have this one.
No, it's okay. Yeah. In the 1980s, I went to school in Cologne, and there was another school next to my school where all the people with Turkish background, at the time they were called Turks, went.
Eigenstein.
Sorry?
Eigenstein.
No, in Nil, Köln Nil.
Okay.
So there was a program for them. The school was in Turkish, and the program was that it was planned that they go back to Turkey. And my best friend is still from that time, and he still has experiences that he is not considered as a real German. So the first question often is, where do you come from? And interestingly, it is not, sometimes he is labeled as Muslim, sometimes he's labeled as foreigner, sometimes he's labeled as Turk. I think today we have a mixture of that all. So it's not easy to distinguish or to say they're all seen as Muslims. I think this is not the case. And if you look on surveys, there was a European survey which is very interesting, people with migrant background were asked, how do you perceive discrimination? Basically, racist, based on race, ethnicity, based on religion, or a mixture. And very few said it was based on religion. That was in 2008. Might have changed a little bit. Most said it was a mixture, and many said, almost 10% said it was because of their ethnicity. And I think still in Germany this is still more so, because there is a very racist perception, I think, in the mainstream still. And, the other thing is, what the first time I came to Israel, and maybe that relates what you say, and I'm very happy that you said there's such a close relationship between Hesse and Israel. The first time I came to Israel, I was shown the program for people making Aliyah. And I said, people in Germany should go there to learn how to integrate people. Don't know if that's part of your program when you're here, but I think I would be happy if that people and maybe the people in the ministries learn from Israel how to integrate newcomers. I think that's a wonderful thing we can learn from Israel, all over the world probably. And the other thing is the identity, what to identify as German or not. You said that was a main part of your presentation. I did a similar thing comparing that in different European countries, in Great Britain, in France, and in Germany. And if you compare that, this is very, very interesting, because then you find, I think I can say, this is very much related to the ideology of national identity. So in Britain, it's much easier to identify as British. And even in France, it's much easier to identify as French, even though people say, I'm not really accepted as French, but I'm French and insist on it. In Germany, most people with migrant background, they don't even insist saying, well, I'm German, but I'm not accepted. They say, I want to be accepted as Turk or as Arab or whatever in Germany. This is at least what I found out in my studies.
So this was yours? No. Yeah. So please.
I have a question for Gilad Margalit, because you closed your presentation asking about the parallels between Turks and Jews, well, actually about the parallels between violence towards them. And you asked if something similar would happen towards Jews, if the reaction would be similar. And although there is a strong correlation empirically between racism and anti-Semitism, I would like to focus on the difference, and especially because you asked about the state reactions, to think about the difference. Well, there has been lots of changes after the Shoah, and if you, well, I would actually like to answer you to answer this question. If we really imagine something like this, what would happen to Jews? Do you think the reaction of the states, state institutions and state officials would be different? And if so, why? And then maybe we can see if we can argue about this.
No, but this is theoretical discussion. You never know. You never.
We have a lot of such incidents in Germany. Remember,
there was an exception, killing 8, 9.
the elderly home in Munich.
Julius.
The elderly home in Munich, 7 killed elderly people, or in Erlangen, a publisher who was killed. We know it comes from the right-wing groups, but there was not a big discussion.
Were they called fish murders?
Nobody would dare, I think.
Would you please say something to that? I'm really interested.
Well, this is the impact of the Holocaust, of course.
Sure.
That there is a very high sensitivity to. I think that this is the impact of the Holocaust on the German political culture. And there is a very high sensitivity to such pejorative terms, although we know that some very highly pejorative terms were used in the past, nevertheless. So you have from here and there. But I think this would be really outrageous, and I could just imagine how for example, the American media would react if such thing happened, and if Der Spiegel would dare to call such a murder series gefilte Fisch.
There was murder series. There was.
What are you talking about? There was no murderous series of murders of Jews in Germany.
Sure.
No?
Not a series.
So.
Yes,
There
it was.
Would they call it a gefilte Fisch?
It was. But nobody is talking about this because they fear a discussion.
Curry was one case, for example, in Hesse as well. Yeah.
Curry,
Many years ago,
Yeah.
20 years ago.
yeah, exactly.
But they are marked as anti-Semitic, because the question is, how are they treated?
Yeah, but
differently?
this is a very,
But you
it's
know,
a very tricky
but
thing
it's a
to-
very complicated thing. How would the German
declare
public
this.
react?
Yeah.
I would join you in your assessment. But the problem with this special case is that this was a totally failure of the investigators. This makes things even more complicated. And the services who were involved in the whole thing. Yeah. So you cannot compare it if this could happen to Jews, because no service would dare observing Jews in Germany. That's what I think. But we are running out of time. Let me just make one or two. Yeah, please, Hein. Yes, please.
I want to make a follow-up on Ginter's remark, and my question is to Dr. Breyer. Ginter said that Hessian government has to study or to learn the Aliyah project in Israel, or the Aliyah education system. But in the background of each or every program in Israel is everyone is Jew, and we are Jews. We don't know what is Jewish, but we are Jews. So my question to Dr. Breyer, after I heard a very interesting presentation, what is the mutual ethos of the German people today? To what you are educated your citizens, the minorities, to be a German? What is meaning to you to be a German today?
You're asking a Hungarian, but maybe she could even answer better than we Germans can do. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really fine question, because we know from Germany that there is the education is a bad word today in Europe. When Germany tries to say how we imagine migration policy, it doesn't mean that we want to say the others how to live. We have to have very careful in Germany. I represent the Liberal Party in Germany. So we have in Hesse is the Minister for Integration, a Liberal minister. So we don't want to say the others how to live and how to be. But it's a very delicate question. We have one principle, which is. No, we say just it's necessary if you are living in Germany. You can have your Hungarian identity like me. I have a Hungarian identity and also a German identity. It's not a problem. But I have to speak the language. I have to accept the law. I have to know the German constitution, the German rules. That's just the one basic thing. And not more, not anymore. And that's, I think it's also for our politics in Europe is really important that we could try to move Europe in, to develop Europe. On the basic of these values, we are different, we stay different. We want to educate all people in the same way. We stay different, but we have to speak the common language. We have to share the common values.
But you know, Heinz, this is an interesting question. What is German identity? If you would ask a German, what are you? Are you German or are you European or what are you? I think that most of the Germans would say, I'm a European. Because this is the politically correct answer. And indeed, the German society, not only the German society in every European country has been in a flux in the last 40 to 50
but
years.
Then the European would ask, yeah, but from where?
Yeah, exactly. But then I would answer, I'm from Bonn or I'm from Rhineland. And he would say, I'm from Berlin or Potsdam. No, you would not say? What would you say?
No. That's a...
It's very
say, yeah,
so,
from
my self-definition is, I'm a Jew, German citizen, and a Berliner.
So it's also for the immigrants, it's not easy. When you asked Cem Özdemir from the Green Party what he is, he has a Turkish migration. He says when somebody asked him where you from, when a German asked him, he would say, I am Turkischer Schwabe. But the same question they ask him, of course, when he's back in Turkey, and there he says, ich bin ein schwäbischer Türke. So everybody gets the answer he wants to have in this situation. It's very complicated. But please, Dina, you have a final question.
You see, first of all, I think, that's my definition, German Jewish legacy is integral part of the German legacy. That's the point. What I say is not to take all items and so from all over to Germany, but to document it. We have to know where the items are. That's only what I say. It's a problem, sure, that Jewish communities in Germany they are not in the tradition of the former German Jewry. That's a problem. That's a real problem, because the politicians in Germany think they speak with the Jews in Germany as they think that they're the former German Jews. And that's nothing to do with it. That's one of the problems.
So, thank you so much. You all deserve your coffee now. So we have 17 minutes left. Thank you so much.